Hello, and welcome to the third lesson of my series Salesforce for Beginners. In this video, we are going to learn how to create lookup relationships, master detail relationships, and create rollups. So let's get started. We've already learned how to create objects in Salesforce. So let's see how we can create relationships between various objects. The first way is by creating lookup relationships. For example, you have Accounts Object, which is a standard object in Salesforce, and Opportunities Object and Cases Objects are standard objects as well. Salesforce already has a lookup relationship between these objects such that an account record can have multiple opportunities associated with it as well as have multiple cases associated with it. This makes the account object the parent and the other two objects the child. This parent to child relationship example is an example of one-to-many relationship where there is one parent and n number of children. A lookup relation is always created on a child object. Alright, so before we create our very first lookup relationship, let's go and see how a lookup looks like. For this example, where we'll go and see a relationship between Opportunities Object, which is a child object, and Accounts Object, which is a parent's object. So I'm here in my Salesforce account. As you can see in the tabs, you have Accounts and you have Opportunities. According to the example, Opportunity is a child object to Accounts. So let's go to Opportunities. Here in the Opportunities homepage, click on New. Now let's create an opportunity record. I'm going to name this My OPP1, which is My Opportunity 1. You can see that this field, account name, right here, it says it's an account name lookup. It is a standard lookup created by Salesforce, and this associates this record with an account. Basically means that my OPP1 is going to be a child record to a account which I pick. So let me choose BIT. So basically, as the name states, I just looked up an account and associated my new opportunities record with it. So before we save, let's just fill up all the mandatory fields. I'm going to pick up date. I'm going to take a stage. And let's save this opportunity record. As you can see, after my record saves, you can check that the account name associated with this opportunity is BIT. So let's see how this looks from the BIT record point of view. Go to Accounts. Click on the record, BIT. Basically open the record page of my BIT account. Scroll down and you'll see under Opportunities, there's My OPP1, which is the record we've just created, which means that it is a child record to the parent record BIT. I also have another opportunity which I created previously, that was OPP1. So both these records are child records, or basically the lookup relationship links these records to the parent record, which is BIT. So let's go and create our lookup relationships. The first one, we're going to create a lookup between two different standard objects, which is Accounts and Contacts. The account being the parent and contacts being the child. So as a lookup is always created on the child object, we are going to create a lookup on Contacts object. So click on Setup. Scroll down. In the sidebar, go to Customize. Under Customize, look for Contacts. Under Contacts, click on Fields. In the Contacts field page, scroll down and go to Contacts, Custom Fields and Relationships. Click on New. Now in the New Custom Field page, select the data type Lookup Relationship and click on Next. Under the New Relationship section, it's going to ask who is this contact object related to. So when you click on this, click on Account. Now click on Next. Fill up all the field details. I'm going to name this Emergency Account. Emergency ACC and click on Next. Make the field visible for all the user levels. Click on Next. Click on Next again. Now this is the name which will be displayed for the list which is on the account or the parent page. So let's change this to emergency contacts and then click on save. Congratulations, you've just created your very first lookup relationship. As you can see, the field label is account and it's a custom field in your contacts object. So let's go see our lookup. Click on contacts on the tab. Click on new. Let's create a contact record. I'm going to take the last name as Paul. You can see this account name lookup, but this lookup is not the one which we've created recently. You can see down here you have the account lookup. This is a lookup we've created. So let's click on the lookup button. Let's select a parent account for it. Let's take Facebook. Now click on save. Great, your record is now associated with the account Facebook. Look it up in the accounts tab. Click on Facebook. Scroll down and you'll see under emergency contacts, this is a section we've created. You have Paul, the record that you've created. Moving on to our second use case, which is creating a lookup relation between a standard object and a custom object. In case you want to learn how to create a custom object, go check out my previous video. Here account is the parent object and employee, which is a custom object, is our child object. In this use case, we are going to create a lookup on the child, which is the employee object. So click on setup, scroll down, under build, go to create. Since the child is a custom object, we use create instead of customize. Now go to objects. You can see the two custom objects available to me. Let's click on employee. Scroll down. Under custom fields and relationships, click on new. Now click on lookup relationship. From here on, the procedure is pretty much same to the previous test case. Click on related to, select accounts, which is going to be the parent. Click on next. Enter details for the field. Click on next. Make it visible for all users. Click on next. Click on next again. If you wish to change the related list label, you can, but let's leave it to employees. Click on save. Your lookup between a custom object and a standard object is now ready. Click on employees on the tab. In the employees home page, click on new to create a new record. Here you can see that the accounts lookup is now available on the employees object. Click on the lookup. Let's take KFC. Let's enter our employee name. I'll take derp and click on save. So in our custom object employee, we now have a record called derp and is associated with an account KFC. So let's go see our account, shall we? Click on account. Click on KFC. Scroll down. There, under employees, we now have derp. Now let's move on to our final use case, which is creating a lookup between two custom objects. The first custom object is employees, which is the parent, and the second is students, which is the child. So in this use case, students is the child, so let's create a lookup on it. Click on setup, scroll down, under build, click on create. Under create, go to objects. We have both the objects over here, the employee, which is the parent, and student, which is the child, but we are going to click on student. Here, scroll down. Under custom fields and relationships, click on new. We now need to select the data type, which is again lookup relationship. Click on next. Pick the parent. Account is a standard object. Here, the parent is employee, which is a custom object. So look for employee. It's over here. Click on employee. Click on next. Let's fill in the field details. Click on this field, write employee. Click on next. Make the field visible for all. Click on next. Click on next again. Change the related list label if you wish to. Save. There, a custom lookup is now ready on two different custom objects. Now let's go click on students, which is the child object in the tab here. Click on new. Let's fill in the details. I'm going to do the name over here as Greta, father's name as Logan. Let's leave this field, and here we have the lookup for employees, which is the parent. Click on the lookup. We only have one employee here, so let's just take that. Let's take Dirk. So basically this student's record is going to be under Dirk, so click on save. So now that the record is saved, let's go see the parent object, which is employees. Click on employees. Under employees, click on Dirk. Here, under the parent record Dirk, we have students and we have Greta, the record that we've just created. Alright, so we've seen parent to child relationship in lookup. But what if both the objects are the parents, such that here we have the projects, which is the parent, as well as employees, which is the parent. We can understand this by the statement that a project can have many employees. That's true. But at the same time, an employee can work on multiple projects. So this way, we have many-to-many relationship. In Salesforce, you cannot create this kind of a relationship directly through a lookup. But Salesforce does provide you a provision to create such kind of a relationship. It can be done using a junction object. So basically what you do is you create another object, let's name it assignment, and then create lookup between assignment and project, and another lookup between assignment and employee. This way you have an indirect relationship through lookup between two different parents. So let's go create this relationship here between project and employee through an assignment object, which is a junction object. So let's learn how to create a junction object first. A junction object is basically the child to both the parents, which is projects and employees. It is a custom object and it does not require a tab associated to it. So let's go create this assignment object. To create a junction object, click on Setup. Scroll down. Under Build, click on Create and click on Objects. Now the steps are pretty much same to how you create a custom object. Click on New Custom Object. Now the junction object, we're going to name it as assignment. Let's take the plural as assignments. Click on Save. That's it. You've created your junction object and the name is assignment. Now the next step into creating many-to-many relationship is creating a lookup between the junction object and the two different parents. That is, the first is projects and the other is employees. So let's first create a lookup between assignment and projects. Click on Setup. Scroll down. Under Build, click on Create. Now click on Objects. Now we know that a lookup is always created on the child object. So assignment here is a child to both employees and project. So let's click on assignment. Scroll down. Click on New near Custom Fields and Relationships. Now select the data type as lookup relationship and click on Next. Now we are going to relate this assignment object to its parent or the first parent, which is projects. So look for projects. It's over here. Click on Next. Enter the field name as project. Click on Next. Make the field visible to all. Click on Next again. Click on Next again. Click Save and New. Now we create a lookup between the assignment object and the second parent, which is the employees. So pick the data type lookup relationship again, click on Next. Under Related To, click on the second parent, which is employees. Click on Next. Enter the field name. Click on Next. Make it visible for all the objects, all the users. Click on Next. Click on Next again. Click on Save. We've now created lookups between the junction object, which is assignment, and also the child object, and the two parent objects, which is employees and projects. We've not created a tab for assignments, so you cannot actually access it on the tab section, but we don't need that. To access this assignment object, all you need to do is go to your parent object directly, click on projects, click on any of the project record, which is, I'll take hotel tools. Now in this record, you can see the assignment section. Click on New Assignment. Now this gives you the access to the assignment object, and this is how you link your first object, the first parent project, to employee. The project is already selected as I've selected it through the project record. So I'm going to name this as Hotel Tools hyphen. I'm going to pick an employee first from the lookup. I'm going to take the employee derp, who's basically working on hotel tools now, and let's just enter derp here and click on Save. You can now see the assignment record, hotel tools -derp, and here you can see the project is hotel tools and employee working on it is derp. Click on projects again, click on hotel tools. Here under assignments you can see this record, hotel tools -derp. You can even check the employees, which is the other parent. As you must have realized that we did not create the assignment through derp or through the employees section, but still when you click on the employee derp, under assignments you're going to find this record. Click on New Assignment again, and there you can access the assignment object from here as well. And that's how you create a junction object and a many-to-many relationship. Alright, having learned everything about lookup relationships, let's see what a master detail relationship is. A master detail relationship is a more stricter kind of relationship in which there is a parent and there is a child, the master being the parent. All the children must have a parent associated to them. That is, no records should be empty or without a parent. Now there are two ways to create a master detail relationship. The first is when there are no records present in a child object. That is, you've recently created a child object and have absolutely zero records inside it. So let's go see how to create that. If you look in the tab section, you'll see two tabs, which is children and parents. Here parents is going to be the master or the parent object, and we're going to create a master detail relationship on the child, which is children. So let's get to it. Click on Setup, scroll down, under Build, click on Create. Click on Objects, select the child object, which in our case is child. Scroll down, go to Custom Fields and Relationships and click on New. Now it's time to pick the data type. Scroll down and pick Master Detail Relationship. Now here the child object does not have any records at all. For example, I have here my child tab. You can see there are no records in this object. So let's click on Next. In related to, pick the parent, which is parent. So look for it. Here it is. Click on parent and click on next. Enter the field name as parent. Click on next. Click on next again, making it visible for all the users. You click on next one more time. And in the final step, we're going to save. There, your master detail relationship is now created. As you can see in custom fields and relationships, you have this field label parent. This is your master detail relationship. So let's go and create a record in your child object. So click on children, click on new. You'll notice the red pipe, which means that for this record, a parent is mandatory, which, as stated before, master detail relationships require a parent object for the record to be saved in the database. So click on child's name. Let's take this as Ronnie. And let's pick a parent from the lookup. This is a master detail relationship, but the field is still a lookup. The only difference is it's mandatory to pick a parent. So we're going to take Lata as a parent, and let's create another record. So click on save and new. Now let's give another name over here. Let's take Farah. Again, let's take the parent as Lata here, and let's save. There, we've successfully created a master detail relationship and inserted 2 records in it. So we can just go and see the parents tab. Click on Lata, and there you have the 2 children, Ronnie and Farah. Now, we know that a master detail relationship requires all the children records to have a parent. But what if a child object has records and it has no master detail relationship? In that case, we'll go for the second process of making a master detail relationship, which is when there are records present in a child object. So in that case, we first create a lookup. We populate all the child records with a parent, and then we edit the lookup and convert it to a master detail relationship. So let's go see how to do that. Earlier in this video, we've created a lookup between students and employees, where employees was the parent and students was the child. Now, since the first step in making a master detail relationship when there are records in the child is to create a lookup, and we've already done that, I'm going to take the same objects for the same. So let's create a lookup. I'll show you the steps, but won't actually create a lookup. Click on setup, scroll down, click on create, click on objects, select the child object, which is students in our case. Now we are supposed to create a lookup, so scroll down and create a lookup in case you don't have one under custom fields and relationships between the students object, which is the child, and the parent object, the employee. As you can see, we already have a lookup between the students and employees over here, so I'm not going to create it again. Now the next step is to populate all the records under students, which is the child object over here, with a parent. That is, we only have one record over here, so let's create a few. So I have created another record under students, so we're going to go see those records. Now each of these records have a parent record, which is, as you can see, employee Ashley in Amir's case, and for Greta we have derp. So basically none of the records in the students object, which is the child, has its employee field empty. So we are good to go. All the records are populated with a parent record. Now what we need to do is click on Setup. We basically need to edit the data type from lookup to master detail relationship. To do that, click on Create under Build, go to Objects. Now select the child object, which is student. Scroll down under Custom Fields and Relationship, where you can see the lookup employee. Click on Edit. You can see this button, Change Field Type. Click on Change Field Type. Scroll down and click on Master Detail Relationship and click on Next. Click on Next and save again. Now, when you scroll down under Custom Fields and Relationships, when you see Employee, it's a master detail relationship. And there, you've created your second master detail relationship. Now that we've learned how to create a master detail relationship, let's create a roll-up summary on a master detail relationship. A roll-up summary basically gives you counts, maximum, minimum, aggregate of all the records present in the child object for that parent record. So basically, if your parent has 4 children, a roll-up for children's count is going to give 4 on the child records page. So let's go create one. Now, to create a roll-up, let's consider a previous master detail relationship between parents and children. To create a roll-up, you should always create it on your parent, which is in our case the Parents tab. So we're going to create a roll-up on a parent object. So to do that, click on Setup. Scroll down and under Build, click on Create. Click on Objects. Select the parent object, which in our case is parent. Scroll down and under Custom Fields and Relationships, click on New. While picking the data type, scroll down and pick a roll-up. It's right on the top. And click on Next. You're going to take the field label as count. It's the same over here. Click on Next. The summarization object is going to be children. And the type of the rollup is going to be count. Now in case you pick sum, min, max or aggregate, it's going to give you the sum, min, max or aggregate of it. For example, if I take sum, it is going to give me the sum of all the values for a field. Minimum will again, you'll have to select a field and it will give you the minimum of all. We're just going to take count and click on Next. Make the field visible to all the users. Click on Next. Now click on Save. There, we've created a first roll-up. Let's go see it. Click on Parents tab. Click on any record. Let's take Lata. If you check the children's section, you'll see Ronnie and Farah are 2 children to Lata. You can see the count is 2 for children that she has. So you can click on the new child, enter a new child name, let's say Ron, and click on Save. Now let's go see Lata's record. You'll see the count has now increased to 3, and that's how you create a roll-up. So that's it for today's video. If you liked the video, press on that like button, comment and share the video, and subscribe to my channel Begin IT. Also like us on Facebook and visit our blog on WordPress. So this is Devjit Chaudhary and I'll see you next time.